Hi everyone from the In the Grey podcast. Here's today Rosaly, the main host of this special episode. Another female special episode. Pew, 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 where us can just talk and have like a girl chat with a really nice safe place, and I hope listener you're gonna enjoy this part too. I will let my guests introduce themselves now.
My name is Meghan. Hi. You can find me on Instagram. I mostly post about traveling. It's Meg's Dimple Life. It's MEGSDIMPLELIFE. So Meg's Dimple Life at Instagram. Thank you.
Nice. Your turn, my beautiful.
Hi everyone, it's me, Rena. Thank you for listening to In the Grey podcast tonight. We're going to be talking about a few things, answering questions, and thank you for submitting some questions in. So there's a few things we need to talk about, discuss about. Don't take it personal. It's just our opinions. Our opinion shouldn't really matters, but stay tuned. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I was reading the question earlier and prepare myself, and I'm really excited for this. I want to know, girls with other women, we have like an unspoken girl code. I don't know. I don't hang out with a lot of girls, but I feel like the bro codes, girls has the kind of same thing that like don't go to my ex or stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I don't feel that there's any other code. Should have more code? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're just standard. Like you said, you don't date your girlfriend's exes, like not unless like for permission, right? If you want to, if you're interested in someone, then you kind of have to like ask and see if it's okay with them. I think there's some other general rules. It's just like, when we go out as girls, as a group, like you always have like a buddy system kind of thing. Like even when you go to the bathroom, you want to make sure that you go with the girls to the bathroom. It's like an unspoken rule that you're just like, okay. It's like we go to the bathroom just to like, oh, like I'm going to fix myself up, but I'm going to make sure that my girl look good too.
The bathroom clubs of ladies, it's such a nice, like you go in there and you get out with like 5 more friends for the night. It's always been like this. We take care of each other when drunk in the bathroom.
Yeah. So overly nice too. Just like if you like usually don't like that look or something, you're just like, no, you're gorgeous tonight. I don't care what anyone says, you look good.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Rena? Do you think there is other codes between like female friends or just women in general?
I think there's quite a few girl codes that us women kind of like empower. Like I would say supporting each other, like you guys were talking about, and respect. I mean, there's a lot of things that like, you know, a lot of females out here kind of do behind each other's back and stuff, that's not really the right proper code to be doing. But I think in this generation is so different. So I don't know. I really don't have the woman's code. I'm more like old fashioned.
Yeah, and I feel that like code or something that you should respect, it's kind of like the standard of every relationship you should have, like lovers, friendship, like family relationship and stuff. But what about dating the sibling of your girlfriend?
I feel like you still need to ask. Okay, well, this happened to me before.
Oh.
Well, not quite in that sense, but it's just like my best friend's brother was interested in me. This was back in high school, and she's just like, oh, I noticed that my brother was asking a lot about you, and she's like, please do not date my brother. And I'm like, okay, got it.
Okay. So it was you were not interested too.
Pardon?
You were not like into him either.
No. But like she told me that she's like, oh, FYI, my brother has been asking me a lot of questions about you, so I think he's interested in you. But she's just like forewarned me and basically like, please do not date my brother. And that's like girl code right there. But like, I got you. I would not be interested in your brother. And that was the end of it. But I feel like it's the same way that you still need to like go about and ask your girlfriend if it's okay if you're interested in their sibling.
Exactly. What about you, Rena? Because you have a lot of brothers.
I don't know. Like none of my brothers dated like friends that I'm close to. So like they always try to date outside my like circle. But most of my friends always be hitting on my brothers all the time. I'm like, no, it's gonna ruin our friendship. I believe that it does sometimes because, you know, like when you put yourself in a situation, the relationship between you and your friend and then they and me, like, I feel like it's not right because, you know, it's always a mess. Relationship is always a mess. I don't date none of my friends, like baby daddies or exes or anything. That's like the code that I always grew up and like carried on. It's just that like it's the respect that I have for myself, especially like I'm not this type of girl that's like, I don't want people to be like, oh my god, she's dating my ex, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. And I wouldn't be able to be like, well, guess what? Like, you know, when you're young, you're like, fuck it, I'll date him because he dates, you know, like other girls and like, you know, whatever. Like, and plus, when I was growing up, I was actually like in a serious relationship. I had a family, so I wasn't really experienced in like relationship like that. I just never dated like my friends' exes.
Yeah, totally feel you with that. Same. What pressure do you female face due to age or tradition? I see Meghan and Rena that looks really young for their age. So was it difficult when you were like young adult to always be compared to like someone super young? Because both of you have a baby face. So I feel like when you were 22, people were like, oh, you're probably 17.
Yeah, I think like even now people think I'm a lot younger. Like recently, like a week ago, I just came back from Toronto, and so people were like, oh, how old are you? But they were a little bit surprised about my age. I think just like pressure in general, I think society in general is like pressuring girls to be like, oh, like, why aren't you married? You know, like once you hit your mid-20s, they start like questioning like, oh, are you in a serious relationship? Why aren't you married? Like, when's the kids happening? While like before that in college, you know, during college time or like even when you're in school, they're just like, don't get married, don't get pregnant, like blah blah, all these other things. And all of a sudden, like they change and be like, okay, it's time. Where's the babies? And I think that's like a lot of pressure too. Or even like if you're a working woman, they expect that like you like work and then being able to like be 100% like a mommy, and it's just like very hard because I know that like some of my girlfriends, they are single mom and they're expected to be like the perfect single mom, but also like being able to put food on the table all the time.
I totally feel you on that. I also feel like because we're a woman, when it's about work too, we kind of like get discriminated by it.
Yeah.
And just the fact that like you got to be like you said, maybe she's gonna get pregnant. So if she's gonna get pregnant here, it's 1 year paid off. So they need to think she needs to be replaced and blah blah blah. So sometimes like I notice that's a look that they have. I also have needed to fight for my position because I was young and I looked young and people like were always surprised. So you need to always prove and fight at the fact that you are mature. You are, like their standards are so high. I think that's what we mostly like face on. And about like the first point you said, I totally agree. Like when you arrive in your mid-20s, your family, like your people around, start like talking about when serious relationship, when the baby, blah blah blah. And I needed to come out to my family and said like, guys, I don't want kids, and stop asking the question. Like I needed to tell them because it was like always and always. So I feel that 100%.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you too, like about work, because that happened to me all the time. Like before, I work in a hospital. And so when I see patients, they're just like, oh, so is this like a volunteer kind of thing? And this go back to age too, because they're like, because I look young, they're like, oh, is it like a summer internship for you? And then like fall is happening at the end of the summer. Are you going to go back to college? Are you going to, I'm like, no, like you think that the hospital will let someone like do stuff on you, like clinical stuff on you without like having at least like a degree or some sort of like a background beforehand. I'm like, this is a safety issue. I was like, man, no. It's just like
You do look young though.
oh,
Meghan.
thank you.
How old are you?
I am okay. Let's just take a guess.
22.
No, I'm not. I'm a lot older than 22, but this is such a compliment for me. I am actually 30. I turned 30. Yeah.
Really?
Sheesh.
Yeah, you aged.
So I'm at the phase where everyone's just like, where are the babies? When are you getting married? And I think at this point, I keep telling my mom, like you, Rosaly, that like, stop asking me. She's just like, okay, just don't let you do your thing.
As for you, Rena, I suppose that to deal with some pressure as a woman, right? And as a young mother.
Yes.
Wanna talk about it?
Wait, give me a second. I'm making noodles.
That's the kind of...
I love her.
Okay,
She's actually making a
that's a lot of noodle though. She's feeding an army.
I would say like take on more responsibilities. You know what I mean? Having to be very independent and like not rely on other people.
And because you're a young mother too.
Yes, I would.
Did you face like pressure or looks by the society? Did you need to deal with that?
Yeah and no, because when I was growing up, there was kind of like a lot of girls that was having babies. But I mean, like the older generation, like parents-wise, they were more like very judgmental because they're like I said, they want you to finish school and do whatever. I didn't really have that much criticizing. Like people don't really criticize me as a mom. They kind of watch what I do, and sometimes I feel like I inspire certain people because what I did and what I went through. But there's always, that negative people who like always have something to say, like whether you're right or you're wrong. But I wouldn't say that I was being criticized a lot or being judgmental because of the age that I grew up. Was a lot of like some of same situations that was happening at the same time.
Yeah, valid. Oh, that's Meghan questions, the little game. But there's this trend about noting guy. So we have 2 questions that Meghan asked, and I really love this. Okay,
They're just for fun.
are you ready? He's a 4 out of 10, but he picks up after himself and helps clean up.
What will you rate him?
8.
That was perfect. That's the right reaction I wanted. Oh, what were you, Meg?
I would say he's up there too, like a 7 or 8.
Really?
I mean, like, there's so many, I don't know. There's so many, like, I feel like as women, we tend to, like, especially, like, clean up after. If you're, like, if you always, like, I'm always in the older sibling, so, like, I always clean up after people. So, like, I feel like I'm always cleaning after people. So, if there's a guy that cleans up after himself and try to be helpful and help me clean up too, that's definitely a higher number.
For me, it's gonna still be a 4. Because if it was already a 4, I will never go out something under 6. So, so it will stay there.
That's true.
The second one is an 8, but is all talk. And I need some definition of all talk. Like
Definitely a -1.
But what does it mean? What does it mean when you say it's all talk?
Like,
That means
he's just like,
no.
yeah,
That
you know.
means no action. He's not a man of his word.
Oh, okay. Oh, definitely. Oh, there are 2.
I agree. He's definitely a 1 or a 0.
Yeah, because action is something way bigger than words nowadays. Especially nowadays with like the dating app and stuff like that. Like when you're looking for a serious relationship and is just like talking but not proving you action, it just doesn't mean it takes it seriously.
Yeah, I think it's like, even if you're looking for friends, like you expect that from your friends. If your friends like, yeah, I'll help you out, you know, like, oh, you're moving, I'll help you out, and then like they don't help you out, you're like, you told me you will help me out. Like you need to keep your promises.
Do you have any experience, Rena, with a guy that his words mean nothing?
I dated a few guys. That's not a man of his word. And I feel like that's the biggest turnoff, because like if you tell a female something that, you know, you say you're gonna do and you don't do it, it's like, what the fuck? Like, why are you even talking? Like, just to have your hopes up?
Oh, totally. Or like being ghosted or like being ditched, like as a first date.
That's the worst.
Just because like, or like he confirmed, but just no sound, and you're like, bruh, you could have just said no, I'm not interested anymore.
I know, people should do that more often. And I think like people actually appreciate it if you're like actually not interested. Just like, you know, not to waste their time, and you're being straightforward, being true to yourself kind of thing. Just telling that person like, hey, like it was nice meeting you, but I don't think there would be a second date or something like that.
I totally agree. I think it's really a problem of like, I feel maybe because of my generation, we lack of communication. Like I think communication skills, like my generation and youngers, there's a lack of communication.
Do you think it's because like of like too much social media and such?
Yes, and it's the fact that I grew up not communicating in real life with people, because after high school it was like I'm going to MSN. I'm like, it was only chatting and stuff. So now like when I talk with people, I have difficulties to read them. You know what I mean? So I feel like growing up I have a lack of like this kind of intelligence of like that social skills, right? So I think that's why. And even with my brothers, it's even like worse. They are like 9 years younger, and I just like they grew up in such a weird world. And I feel like being straightforward, being direct with someone, and you don't know how they're gonna answer because you cannot interpret it by the writing. It's way more challenging to them. Way more challenging. This one is an easy one for me. Can a woman become a manager?
Yes. I feel like women should be managers out there, just because we need more representation out there. A lot of, especially in, I can only speak for myself, like in my field, I'm in the science field. So science fields is really, majority is just men. Even like my coworkers are men. So we definitely need more representation on that. And going back to stuff that like women face, even like society or whatever, like even in the job field, I think like a lot of women have a harder time climbing up the ladder to get to a manager. And also when they get to a manager, people always says, oh, she's trying to tell me what to do, she's being bossy. But like if a guy tell you what to do, you're just like, oh yeah, because he's my manager, I need to do what I'm supposed to do. So it's just like very biased. It's not like even out, because like women can be managers too.
I feel you're right. I feel women are manager it's when we are not, in a way that like even now I feel I live in Quebec, so it's really different than in US. I feel now then for me, I feel lucky because I see myself represented, and more and more and more. And on TV, like we got more like female producer, female like leader and stuff like that, even in the radio field and like media field too. So for that, I feel really represented. And for me, I always been a kind of sort of manager in every job I did. So when I read that question, I laugh. I was just like, like, and I did that. So I totally feel, yes, women are manager in a kind of way, like in their every fucking day life. We need to manage our period. We need to manage that. First of all, the men will never understand. So try to deal with that first. So we manage our shit out. We manage a lot of shit by ourselves since a really young age. So
No, I think it's awesome that if you're a woman and you get into a manager phase, you're a boss lady. Hands down, you're a boss lady, and you should be like, you're an inspiration for every other woman out there just trying to like climb that ladder too.
in a field like you have, if you become like the leadership of this team or the manager and stuff like that, they will stereotype you like the bossy female worker that is like focused at work, like obsessed with it, she wanted to be perfect and stuff. But it's because there's so much more visibility of like women in those kind of fields that they see this, and it, like, I don't understand like why you will judge someone for the gender.
Yeah, we just need to
exactly.
normalize it. We need to normalize it, but I don't know. We're in America. I don't know. We're back in the...
But yeah, exactly. Like, I know we're not talking politics, but even in politics over here, we don't see a lot of female. We don't see like, and sadly, there is a lot of us that are aware of politics and aware of a lot of movements and want to make their way, but it doesn't. We're not enough. It's not enough normalized. We still have a long walk to do, I think, and I'm not like the biggest feminist of all, but I still feel like those kind of stereotypes in 2022 should not be valid, should not even like cross the mind of people. But we're
I feel like we're getting there, and one thing that I really like about the younger generation is that like they're more aware of these things. So I think we're gonna push toward the right directions. We just need to somehow get rid of the older generations, and
we
just,
try
like,
with COVID-19,
that
didn't work.
Entire mindset. Oh,
I'm sorry. Is it too soon?
hurts a little bit.
Oh,
Let me answer this. So, in my opinion, feel like it depends on what type of work environment. If there is a woman managing the job, they will have more like positive outlook, like they make things fun, professional. But if you're working in like a hard labor job, like landscaping and stuff, it's kind of hard to ask females as management because they don't really know what they're doing. So it actually all depends where and what type of jobs they're doing. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of women empower to be management anywhere.
Another point that I just realized, just thinking and listening to Rena about this, there are certain jobs when it's a male like environment, or even like if it's in the services, like the public services, where like there's more men coming in and stuff like that. Sexually harassment happens so often too, so it could affect like your position too, in a way that like it's out of control. But for someone that have been sexually harassed at work so many times, and even though that you're the manager, even a title will not save you in this kind of situation. People doesn't give a fuck. So that's another sad part too. Like, we put men so above when they are like making it so high in their job and stuff like that, like the king. But when it's a woman, we demoralize it and we treat it like an object. I feel like such a feminist tonight. It's because I'm too it's too hot. I'm so grumpy. I'm taking it out on them. Other question. Oh, that's a great one. What is social life difference between high school and college?
I think just in general, yeah, the difference between
in your social life,
high school and college, just like,
what's the difference?
Yeah.
For me, the difference was in high school. I feel like high school is such a game show, a shit show. Like, I don't know, like, I hated my school. And I was not even in a bad high school or something. I didn't have, like, bad experience. I just hated it. I feel like in high school, because I went to a private school, I didn't have a choice to follow. Like, our school was very small. So we kind of needed to be friends with everyone. Even though I was friends with everyone, it doesn't mean I liked everyone. So you don't have like kind of a choice. But when you arrive in college, like, people don't give a fuck of who you are, and you're kind of able to like find real person that will vibe with you.
I feel the same way. Like, I don't know, I didn't have much of a social life. I went to private school as well. Like, you're kind of, the teachers there kind of force you to be friends with everyone, friends. So you're kind of like fake nice to everyone until you're like, okay, my 4 years here is over. I don't have to see you ever again. But yeah, like, college was such an amazing time because I feel like college is a time where you actually grow and develop into who you are today, who you want to be, and you find like your niche. While like high school is more like about cliques, like you want to be popular or with a crowd, you're just trying to fit in high school. But in college, like you said, Rosaly, no one gives a fuck. And so you find your friends, like you can be friends with everyone if you want to. You don't have to be friends with just a specific group. Like, I was never friends with a specific group. I'm like friends with like the nerds, or like they're my study people, and then I like friends with the volleyball team because like I like doing stuff with them, like, you know. So it's just like all around just a good time in college. Everyone just like so accepting of who you are.
And alcohol and parties. Like that's how my social life. I had a lot of parties in high school, like with my friends and stuff, but like the social life in college, it's where I make all my experiences and where I went wild too. So like you said, like college is such, for me, like puberty, like didn't hit I feel in high school. You know, I tried to look at myself and who I want to be and stuff like that when I was like in college, because it's for us, like, it's where you think about who you want to be and who you want to become, and you have like philosophy class and stuff like that, what we didn't have before. So we didn't have the knowledge to think about ourselves that much either. And I feel like you said, it's such about, high school is such about the cliques, so it's such about like fitting in, because I don't understand how it flipped from elementary school to like high school for me. Like, in elementary school, we don't fucking care who you are. Like, kids are kids. Kids are supposed to love everybody. For me, it was like this. And when I arrived in high school, it's maybe the pressure of like a new environment, new people. I don't know. But it switched really, really too much. And for me, I was not a social butterfly, but I never seen someone for what they look like or who they go with, because it's not how I base my perception of you and how I want to know you. So I was talking to anyone, And the fact I didn't give a fuck either. I gave a fuck, but didn't give a fuck because I was just like, yo, if you think I'm a loser and I say hi to you, but I don't mean anything and I'm smiling and I just want to be friends, you can just shut me up and I would be, okay, fine. Bye, have a nice day. Or you can try to learn about myself.
Yep.
But people in high school overthink so much. And I don't know if it's because like One Tree Hill, Degrassi generation. I don't know if it's because of that. Yeah, because it's not a real life Gossip Girl. Can you imagine how many sociopaths were born after watching Gossip Girl? I feel it was like this. Mm-hmm.
That would be chaotic.
Yeah, college was a way greater experience for me than high school as a social life, because I think everyone was at the same like stage of mind to just chill out and vibe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone just like screw up high school, like all that drama over. College was awesome. I would go back to college, not to study, but to party and like all that.
I feel like the difference between high school and college is when we first get into high school, we're kind of basically learning, like, you know, like new things, environment, like, you know, people, and like we're in like a crowd of like, you know, like mixed religions and like, you know, stupid things that kids do. Like, we basically have to pick up from it, right? Not pick up, but it's either, you know, you either cool with it or like not, you know what I mean? But in high school, in college, is that you already experience what you experienced when you're in high school. Like, going into high school is like basically like graduating elementary and middle school, like all over again. But high school is just like with a bigger crowd, like, you know, things are like different. You're in a bigger school. You basically just want to go in and focus on what you need to do and then get out. But when you get to high school, it's like, in college, you get more freedom because you already, you know, adapt to like their environment and the social life, and you get to do whatever, you get to experience whatever. So it's more freedom when you're in college than in high school.
Totally agree. Yes. DM us, listener. I want to know what was your experience though. Like, I'm really curious, like, because just write in the Discord. I'm really curious, like, to because I have people that it was the reverse, like, flip up. Like, high school, everything was alright, but when they like enter college, their social life drop, and it was very a bad experience. And when they go to university, it kind of like feel more normal. So let us know. I'm curious about your experience, guys. Oh, this one is a great one. I keep it at the end because I really love that question. Why are girls truthfully attracted to the bad boy type? Wow. Okay. I mean, that's gonna end the podcast. Thank you all for being here. I will let the guest do their exit after this, but I want you to remember to be good to yourself and to love yourself. And thank you for listening to In the Grey Podcast.
So Rata,
She left.
oh my, let.
I think Rata fell asleep.
It's just the three
and
of
our
us.
friend take the phone.
She left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Meg, how was your first time on In the Grey Podcast? Give us your final thoughts and your experience.
I think that like it's like we just jump right in. So I don't know how, like, your editings are awesome. So it's always like, I don't know, like, it's just like so sudden how we just like go into the podcast, you know, because Rosaly like, okay, I'm just gonna get started. So it's just like very sudden. It's not like very natural flow, but you like kind of edit it so well that it seems like kind of natural that we're going into like just like the top.
With Kay, it's very more smooth, to be honest.
I mean, we should do like a whole like girl and guys.
I know, right?
When you do the mixed one with boys and girls, right? because I'm pretty sure Rosaly will want you back again. It's a lot more. It's a lot more wild. Like some of the shit that the boys say,
yes.
we're a lot more untamed.
Okay.
Oh wait, girl. I my French side get a rose when I'm with them.
Okay, I'm all more for it. Yeah, like I feel like girls were like a little bit more reserved, but also it's my first time meeting everyone as well. So I think like for me, I felt a little bit nervous. Like, oh, this is like how I'm. Yeah, I wish that I got to know you guys a little bit more and be more.
Don't worry, don't worry. You were
But I
perfect.
had a
Like
great
your
time.
answer was very good.
Thank you for having me. Again, I'm Meghan. You can find me on Instagram, Meg's Dimple Life. Feel free to message me. Let me know that you heard about me.
Thank
in the
you.
Great
No, thank you to
Podcast.
you. I'm so glad that you were here. It was fun.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, of course. I want to.
We should do this again.